Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, which is your channel now. I wanted to mention to you guys that today was really difficult for everyone to log on to Schoology, so I wasn't able to meet with you guys, which sometimes may happen, especially when you deal with the hundreds of students that are trying to log on and to get information and do work. So that sometimes going to happen. Also, I would like to meet with you guys regularly via Zoom, but we don't necessarily have to meet all the time. I know that you guys are overwhelmed with the work that some of the teachers are giving you. So I understand, in an art class, you should be able to have fun, draw, create, something out of nothing, and have fun with it, right? Now, the last time we met, we talked about Edward Munch's painting. I'm thinking all of these terrible paintings, that are about pain and suffering. I wonder why. Do you guys like my statue? Guess who made it? You're right, me. I made it during my graduate program, and I was doing these sculptures that had to do with the many sort of mustaches and turbans that actually people wear in India. So back to this painting. As I was doing more research about Edward Munch's The Scream, I was finding out even more information. Of course, I always liked it, It's apparently one of the most expensive paintings in the world, and sold the last time for $120 million. Isn't that something? I wish I had $120 million. It depicts Munch's angst, the terror that he kind of felt within himself. And of course, there's a lot of things that, he probably had to fear. I told you online the other day that his mother, unfortunately, had passed away at an early age, and his sister, his favorite sister, passed away from tuberculosis also at the same time. And so, of course, what came out of that were these terrible paintings, that were real, and that expressed, for example, how Edward Munch might have felt, which was these paintings that were filled with anxiety and a lot of inner turbulence, you know what I mean? And I'm sure that if I had gone through an experience like that I would want that my style would change too. When you're happy, you paint things like this, sunflowers, things that make you happy, that seem okay in the world. But of course, the art world is changing. I'll have to show you a painting that I did that's out in the back. It's kind of an interesting painting. I just finished it. I'll show it to you guys. So, Edward Munch had a diary, and he wrote things about this painting, actually. There was something in his diary that he wrote. And in the diary, there was something that he wrote right around the same time when he did this painting, which was in 1892. He wrote in his diary, "I was walking along the road with two friends. The sun went down, and I felt a gust of melancholy. Suddenly, the sky turned blood red." Period. You know, that says a lot. You know, suddenly the sky turned blood red. You know, Munch did 2 of these paintings. I think one of them was I think both of them were pastel. And at one point when they were first being exhibited, they got stolen, one of them. Of course it was recovered, you know. You can't get away from certain things. Sometimes, you know, people are caught for their mistakes, right? Now this painting, I want you, remember I told you guys I wanted you guys to draw what you fear the most on anything that you want to. Of course, I have these large white sheets of paper, and luckily I had these markers, otherwise I'd be working it with pencil also. Do it however you want to and with whatever materials you have. There are no rules about the materials. I just want to be able to see what you guys are most afraid of. My coffee is always here. I like it. It makes me happy. Hey, so I want to, just as we move along, I want to just kind of tell you something about this painting, okay? As we work it. Now, when you can get the lesson through Zoom, you guys watch the videos and you learn a little bit about what we're doing, okay? Now, at the time, I told you that Edward Munch was plagued with a lot of awful things in his life. Illnesses, deaths, all kinds of things that really kind of inspired him to create these turmoil paintings. His style was inspired by the madness that he lived in his head. Now, you know, these great artists, I don't know what it is. Edward Munch was also institutionalized, which means that he was in a hospital where he had to be kind of taken care of because he wasn't necessarily okay. His work was inspired by madness. It was inspired by what he felt, by what he saw, and what he thought about, of course. His work was mass-produced, which was very smart of him. I don't know how he was able to do it. So he was able to do kind of like these copies of his paintings and sell them. That was very smart. But anyhow, so he had that sense, you know. But his paintings are very personal and had to do with his inner angst. He suffered from severe mental distress. And of course, you would have to expect that you would be able to see it in his work, right? His father was a doctor and a medical officer, and the 2 people that passed away, like I said, was his favorite sister and his mother. That's, you know, that's kind of terrible. It is terrible. Which is what brought along or made him work in this way, I think. His work is deeply personal, but you know why why I think people like it is because it's universal. They know what it feels like, you know, to want to scream like this, right? To feel like you're not getting any help or in some way, you know. So people understand it, so of course people like it. They like it because they understand what it's like to feel helpless, to feel like you want to scream, right? Your fear. So what are you going to draw? It talks about this fear that's deeply personal, you know, to yourself. Someone said, I think it was Vopsy, she said, oh, I'm afraid of spiders. A lot of people are afraid of spiders. So I said, why don't you draw some spiders in the background? Because you have to have the figure, but draw in the background what you fear. You can have the 2 people also. He's also known for creating these friezes, what's called a frieze, which means that he was able to create these drawings or paintings that were about 2 people that had fallen in love. You know, were born, fell in love, got married, had children, got old, and you know what happens next. So a set of all these paintings are life stories. Okay? So continue to work, you guys. The grades didn't come out on Wednesday like I thought. Today, they gave us until the 17th. So have fun, work. And what am I most fearful of? Well, first, if I didn't have coffee, that would probably make me want to scream. But another thing that I've always thought that was very bad, that would make me want to scream, is of course a plane crash. So I thought, you know, a plane crash, a plane coming down is something that would be that I would be fearful of. So hey, you guys, continue to work. Thank you for keeping in touch with me. I love seeing you guys on a Zoom class. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe so that you can keep kind of getting the lessons and then learning a little something in the few minutes that I have with you guys, okay? So have fun, work, and see if you can turn it in on Friday, okay? Try it. And then we have a new VTS painting that I'm going to show. So, bye. Enjoy your coffee.